John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience. I want you to tune in to LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. Also, watch Comcast Xfinity every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Also, with my friends at the Alcumaline Village. My newest news is I have a channel on stream.com/London TV Net. 24/7 live streamed TV networks. The name of my station is John B TV. And remember, this is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience. Where people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And thank you guys for listening. Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, over here at the Alcumaline Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And today I would like to talk a little bit about relationships as well as fathers. We know Father's Day is coming up soon, that's next Sunday. And unfortunately, a lot of us haven't really been fathers, and a lot of us want to be fathers and haven't been allowed to do so. And sometimes I guess you could say some of us have brought it on ourselves, but every father, every man that have had a child is not a deadbeat dad. There are some parents and some fathers out here, a whole lot of them. You just haven't taken the time out. You know, you had a bad experience with a few, and unfortunately, that bad experience put a bitter taste in your mouth. And now, when Father's Day come up, you know, we hardly ever get recognized. You know, some of us do. I'm one of the fortunate ones because I've been there for my family and my children's as well. And not only that, sometimes I think and wonder, did I do enough? Because when my father was coming up, I reminisce and I look back at the things that he did and the things that he was doing, how he worked and he took care of my mother and as well taking care of us. And we didn't always have a lot, but most important, what we did have, and that was love. And my father loved us enough to make sure that we had a roof over our head, we had food to eat, and we had clothes to wear. And he made sure that we went to school. And, you know, just taking care of his family. He unfortunately, he worked, had to go off to work. He would be home sometimes a week and go off for a week or two. But he did construction work, and that was the way they did it. It wasn't, you know, they was building bridges and roads and highways and different things such as that. And there wasn't a whole lot of work right in town because, you know, the roads and bridges and stuff was already built there. So when they got jobs, a lot of times they may have to go to another part of Mississippi or Louisiana or Tennessee, and sometimes even, you know, up here in Detroit, you know, in Michigan. They was pretty much all over the United States traveling, working, you know, and he did what he had to do because in Mississippi, as you have often heard, that's a poor state. And it's not as bad as it used to be, but they didn't have a whole lot of jobs. So, and if you did get a job, they wasn't paying a whole lot. But my father made sure that he kept a job, and when he didn't come home on the weekends, he would, send money to make sure that my mother had money to take care and meet the needs that had to be taken care of. But when he came home, I remember how my father would put us on his back and ride us around and buck us and different stuff and pick us up and let us touch the ceiling. That was exciting to us. It may not be a whole lot to you, but it meant a whole lot to us, and it means a whole lot to your children. You'd be surprised some of the little and smallest things that you do makes a whole lot of difference. Sometimes if it's no more than just grab that little girl, especially girls, because girls need their fathers. The little boys too, but the boys have a tendency to be a little more independent than the little girls. But equally as well, both of them need love. Both of them need attention. Both of them need to know that mom and dad cares about them. And even though, like I say, we didn't have much, but and back during that time, nickels and dimes went a long ways. And sometimes he would give us a quarter, 50 cent, and we go get us some candy and stuff. But like I say, just that little attention that dad showed us. And, today, I just want to encourage the men to take time out for your children. Take time out for them boys and girls because they need you in their life. They need you to be able to tell them that they can do anything, that they need an education, and once they get that education, you could begin to tell them what they could do with that education, the kind of jobs that they can get based upon the decisions that they make in the choice of education that they get. And in saying that, I just want you to know that those babies and even the older ones now, they still need you. They still need attention. They still need to know that mom and dad care. All of my children are grown, but we never miss holidays. We try to do something together. We try to have dinner or something of that sort. So, just to keep the connection together. Even my sisters and brothers, we still do that on Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, the different holidays. We get together and spend time with one another. And it's very important that we do that and that they know, like I say, that you love one another, you care about one another, and spend that time. And they also need to know because they are watching you. They're watching what you're doing, they're watching what mama's doing. So they need to know that mom and dad loves each other as well. And I was talking to a customer yesterday, and I was just sharing some information with them about how I'd make sure that my wife know that she's important to me and how important that she is to me, what she means to me, and how much I appreciate her. And she lets me know too that she appreciates me. And the wife, the children, we all need to make sure that we let each other know, let them kids know how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, and how proud that you are to have them as your children. Just like I'm proud that my mother and father, I was so proud of them. Unfortunately, they are gone now, but I was proud to be able to call my mom, mom, my dad, dad, and they loved on us and they gave us good reasons to call them mom and dad because they weren't just what they say sperm donors. They raised their children and they taught us right from wrong. And that's what we had to teach the children what's right and what's wrong and making the right decisions and practicing and exercising and showing the love that we have for one another. And love starts at home and then it spreads abroad. And there's nothing wrong with showing attention, affection, and love to everybody. The Bible tells you about loving your neighbor as you do yourself. I tell people I like to consider others as well as myself. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated myself. And there has been a lot of times that people didn't treat me the way I treated them, but still, I didn't let them knock me off my square. I didn't let them dictate and make me who they wanted me to be. I am John Beverly, and I do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And if I choose to practice loving and sharing and caring with everybody, because I would prefer people to, even if you don't love me, you at least respect me, because I'm going to respect you, and I expect and want the same thing from you. So let's remember to just try to consider other people as well as ourselves. Treat them the way you want to be treated yourself. And like I say, sometimes I would, when I leave home in the morning, I kiss my wife and tell her I love her and I see her later. And I come home and I greet her again when I come home. I kiss her and tell her I love her. When I get ready to go to bed, I kiss her and tell her I love her and good night. And we get up the next day and start all over again. But that's practicing and sharing and spreading that love. And when the kids look at you and see those different things, they, know that there's love in that household. And we, you know, uh, the wife, most people say, wife does wifely duties and what have you. She meets the need, and you can also help them meet the need sometimes. Sometimes I go home, and if she haven't fixed dinner already, sometimes I go home and cook. Sometimes she'll fix my plate. Sometimes I fix my own plate. Sometimes when I get through eating it and I go in the kitchen and she might be still in there fiddling around or doing something or the other, I look in the sink and I see those dishes and I take the time out and I wash those dishes myself just to lend her a helping hand. Because in that way, when the dishes are done, we both can sit back in our recliners and rear back and look at TV and just enjoy the fruits of our labor and one another. So I just want to say, most important, take the time out, spend some time. Remember, fathers are people too. Recognize your father, love on your father, and remember, it's never too late. As long as you're here, as long as you have breath in your body, there is time to redeem, time to make up, time to say